Hello everyone, Dr. Mandell here. If you're over 60 and you've noticed that your memory isn't as sharp, your focus fades faster, or your vision isn't as clear as it used to be, I want you to listen very carefully because what I'm about to share is simple, natural, and extremely. Aging does not mean mental decline. Aging does not mean blurry vision. And aging certainly does not mean you're helpless. Your brain and your eyes are directly connected. When blood flow improves, inflammation drops, and nerve signaling strengthens, clarity returns. And tonight, I'm going to give you 3 ingredients that support all of that. Not medications, not expensive supplements, just real proven nutrition your body recognizes. Let me say this very clearly because this is where so many people get it wrong. Aging does not automatically mean mental decline. It does not mean your memory has to fade, your focus has to disappear, or your vision has to become dull and cloudy. What most people are experiencing is not old age. It is nutritional neglect, chronic inflammation, and reduced circulation, things that are completely reversible when addressed correctly. Your brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in your body. Even though it only makes up about 2% of your total body weight, it uses roughly 20% of your oxygen and nutrients. When those nutrients stop arriving consistently, brain cells don't die overnight, but they slow down. Communication weakens. Signals misfire. Memory retrieval becomes harder. Focus shortens. That's not aging. That's underfueling. The same principle applies to your eyes. The retina is actually an extension of the brain. It requires constant blood flow, antioxidants, and specific nutrients to stay sharp. When circulation decreases and oxidative stress increases, vision doesn't suddenly disappear. It gradually blurs. Reading becomes harder. Night vision worsens. Colors lose contrast. Again, this isn't inevitable aging. It's the result of years of nutrient depletion and inflammation. Here's what no one tells seniors. Your body does not stop responding just because you pass a certain birthday. Cells don't check your age before repairing themselves. They respond to what you give them. When you supply the right raw materials, the body activates healing pathways that have been dormant, not broken, just neglected. One of the biggest culprits behind mental fog and declining vision is chronic low-grade inflammation. This type of inflammation doesn't cause pain you can feel. It quietly damages blood vessels, reduces oxygen delivery, and interferes with nerve signaling. Over time, it affects memory, reaction time, and visual sharpness. Many seniors assume this is normal aging, but it's not. It's an inflammatory environment starving sensitive tissues. Blood flow is another major factor. As we age, blood vessels can stiffen and narrow, especially when diets are low in antioxidants and healthy fats. When circulation slows, the brain and eyes are the first to suffer. You may feel mentally sluggish or notice your vision isn't as crisp, particularly in the morning or evening. This is not because your brain is wearing out. It's because it's not being adequately supplied. Now let me make this very important point. Medications do not nourish the brain. They may manage symptoms, but they do not rebuild nerve tissue or improve cellular communication. Only nutrients can do that. The brain needs specific compounds to produce neurotransmitters, protect neurons, and maintain the insulation around nerve fibers. Without those nutrients, performance declines regardless of age. I've seen countless seniors in their 70s and 80s who regain clarity simply by correcting nutritional deficiencies. Memory improves, focus returns, visual sharpness stabilizes. Why? Because the brain and eyes were never broken. They were deprived. Another misconception is that decline happens suddenly. Doesn't. It happens quietly over years. Missed nutrients today become symptoms tomorrow. Poor circulation now becomes blurry vision later. Chronic inflammation slowly chips away at brain efficiency. And because this process is gradual, people assume it's unavoidable. But gradual does not mean irreversible. Your body is constantly trying to heal. Even right now, the problem is that healing requires resources. Without the proper building blocks, the body cannot complete repairs. This is why supplying the right nutrients often produces noticeable improvements surprisingly fast. People are shocked because they've been told decline is permanent. It's not. Mental sharpness depends on three things: healthy blood flow, low inflammation, and adequate nutrition. Vision clarity depends on the exact same factors. That's why improving one often improves the other. When circulation increases, oxygen delivery improves. When inflammation drops, nerve signaling becomes clearer. When nutrients arrive, repair mechanisms activate. This is also why lifestyle matters. Dehydration thickens blood and reduces circulation. Poor sleep prevents overnight brain repair. Diets high in processed foods increase inflammation. Over time, these habits create conditions where decline appears inevitable, but change the environment and the body responds. Let me be very direct. If you believe that losing your mind or your visions is part of getting older, you stop fighting for your health. And once you stop fighting, decline accelerates. But when you understand that your body is capable of repair, you begin making choices that support healing instead of surrendering to deterioration. The brain is adaptable at every age. This is called neuroplasticity. New connections can form, old pathways can strengthen, but neuroplasticity requires fuel. Without it, the brain cannot adapt. With it, clarity can return even after years of fog. So when we say aging does not cause mental or vision decline, we're not making a motivational statement. We're stating a biological fact. Decline is driven by inflammation, poor circulation, and nutrient deficiencies, not by age itself. Give the body what it needs, remove what harms it, and the system recalibrates. The body wants to function well. Your job is to stop working against it and start supporting it. This is not about chasing youth. It's about preserving function, independence, and quality of life, and that is always worth fighting for at any age. So let's talk about something small that carries enormous power. Blueberries. Most people see them as just another fruit, something you toss into a bowl or add to yogurt without a second thought. But when it comes to brain health and vision, especially as we age, blueberries are in a category of their own. Your brain is constantly under attack from oxidative stress. Every time you think, move, or even breathe, free radicals are produced. In younger years, the body neutralizes these easily. But as we get older, that defense system weakens. Free radicals begin damaging brain cells, slowing communication between neurons, and interfering with memory and focus. This is one of the primary reasons people experience mental fog, slower recall, and difficulty concentrating. Blueberries are loaded with powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins. These compounds don't just float around harmlessly in the bloodstream. They actively cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from damage. That's important because very few foods can do that. When anthocyanins enter into the brain, they reduce oxidative stress, calm inflammation, and help preserve the integrity of brain cells. This is why people who regularly consume blueberries often notice sharper thinking, better recall, and improved mental endurance. The brain simply functions better when it's protected. Now let's talk about memory. Memory loss doesn't usually start with forgetting everything. It starts with delayed recall. You know the name, but it doesn't come immediately. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. These are signs of weakened neural signaling. Blueberries help strengthen these signals by improving communication between brain cells and protecting the pathways that carry information. But the benefits don't stop at the brain. Your eyes are an extension of your nervous system. The retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body. It requires constant oxygen, nutrients, and protection from light-induced oxidative damage. Over time, exposure to blue light, sunlight, and environmental toxins increases stress on the retina. This leads to eye fatigue, reduced contrast sensitivity, and declining night vision. Anthocyanins in blueberries are particularly effective at protecting retinal cells. They improve blood flow to the eyes, strengthen capillaries, and reduce oxidative damage caused by light exposure. This is why blueberries have long been associated with better night vision and visual acuity. In fact, blueberries help regenerate rhodopsin, a pigment in the retina that's essential for low light vision. As we age, rhodopsin levels decline. This is one reason seniors struggle to see clearly at night or take longer to adjust to darkness. By supporting rhodopsin regeneration, blueberries help restore visual responsiveness. Another overlooked benefit is inflammation reduction. Chronic inflammation damages both brain tissue and the delicate structures of the eyes. It interferes with blood flow and accelerates degenerative processes. Blueberries contain anti-inflammatory compounds that calm this response, creating a healthier environment for both cognitive and visual function. Let me make this very practical. When inflammation drops, blood vessels relax. When blood vessels relax, circulation improves. When circulation improves, oxygen and nutrients reach the brain and eyes more efficiently. This cascade alone can significantly improve clarity, focus, and visual sharpness. Many seniors tell me they feel mentally clearer within days of adding blueberries to their diet. That's not placebo, that's biology. When you remove oxidative stress and improve circulation, nerve signaling becomes more efficient. Another powerful effect of blueberries is their role in protecting against age-related degeneration. Over time, cumulative damage to brain cells and retinal tissue leads to conditions associated with aging. Blueberries don't cure disease, but they significantly slow the processes that lead to decline by protecting cells from damage in the first place. Consistency matters here. This is not about eating blueberries once and expecting a miracle. It's about providing daily protection. Even half a cup per day can make a meaningful difference over time. Fresh or frozen, both work. Frozen blueberries are often picked at peak ripeness and retain their antioxidant content. Avoid added sugars or syrups, which counteract the benefits by increasing inflammation. Timing can also play a role. Many people find that eating blueberries in the evening supports overnight repair. During sleep, the brain clears waste products and strengthens memory pathways. Providing antioxidants during this time supports that process. Let's also address sugar, because this always comes up. Yes, blueberries contain natural sugars, but they also contain fiber and compounds that slow glucose absorption. This means they do not spike blood sugar the way processed sweets do. In fact, blueberries have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, which further supports brain health. Your brain depends on stable blood sugar. Spikes and crashes impair focus and memory. Blueberries help maintain balance, which is another reason they support mental clarity. Here's just the bottom line. Blueberries protect what time tries to take away. They don't stimulate artificially. They don't mask symptoms. They preserve structure, function, and communication at the cellular level. That's just why they're so powerful for seniors. They work with your body, not against it. They protect the brain. They support the eyes, and they help maintain clarity where most people assume decline is unavoidable. Small fruit, big impact. And when used consistently, they become one of the simplest, most effective tools for preserving mental sharpness and vision naturally. Let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings in nutrition, especially when it comes to brain health and vision. Eggs have been unfairly blamed for decades. People were told to avoid them, fear the yolk, and believe that something so simple couldn't possibly be good for the brain. But the truth is exactly the opposite. When it comes to mental clarity and eye health, particularly for seniors, eggs are one of the most complete and effective foods you can eat. The brain is made largely of fat. This outer layer, the membranes of every neuron, rely on healthy fats and specific nutrients to stay flexible and functional. Without them, signals slow down, memory weakens, focus drifts. Eggs provide the building blocks the brain needs to communicate efficiently. One of the most important nutrients in egg yolks is choline. Choline is essential for producing acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter responsible for memory, learning, and attention. When acetylcholine levels drop, people experience forgetfulness, slower thinking, and mental fatigue. This is extremely common in older adults, not because the brain is failing, but because choline intake is often too low. Most people do not get enough choline from their diet. Egg yolks are one of the richest natural sources available. When you consume choline regularly, you support the chemical messaging system of the brain. That's when recall improves, focus sharpens, and mental stamina returns. Now let's talk about the eyes, because this is where eggs truly shine. Egg yolks contain two powerful antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients accumulate in the macula, the central part of the retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision. As we age, lutein and zeaxanthin levels decline, leaving the eyes vulnerable to light damage and degeneration. This decline doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual. Colors lose vibrancy, reading becomes more difficult, glare becomes bothersome, night vision worsens. These are signs that the macula is under stress. Lutein and zeaxanthin act like natural sunglasses. They filter harmful blue light, reduce oxidative stress, and protect retinal cells from damage. When seniors replenish these nutrients, the eyes regain resilience, visual clarity stabilizes, eye fatigue decreases. What makes eggs unique is bioavailability. The lutein and zeaxanthin in egg yolks are absorbed far more efficiently than those from vegetables alone. That's because the healthy fats in the yolk enhance absorption. In simple terms, your body can actually use what you eat. Another benefit of eggs is their protein quality. The brain relies on amino acids to produce neurotransmitters. Without adequate protein, mental performance suffers. Eggs provide all essential amino acids in the right balance, supporting brain chemistry and repair. There's also vitamin B12, which plays a critical role in nerve health. B12 deficiency is common in seniors and often goes undiagnosed. Symptoms include memory issues, confusion, and visual disturbances. Eggs provide a natural source of B12 that supports nerve insulation and signal transmission. Let's address cholesterol, because this is where fear has done the most damage. Cholesterol is not the enemy of the brain. In fact, the brain contains a significant amount of cholesterol, which is essential for forming synapses and maintaining neuron structure. The body tightly regulates cholesterol production. For most people, dietary cholesterol from eggs does not raise harmful blood cholesterol levels. What harms the brain is inflammation, sugar overload, and nutrient deficiency, not eggs. When seniors eliminate egg yolks, they often eliminate the very nutrients their brain and eyes desperately need. This leads to decline that could have been prevented. Preparation matters. Lightly cooked eggs preserve nutrients while improving digestibility. Overcooking damages delicate fats and reduces antioxidant availability. Soft-boiled, poached, or lightly scrambled eggs are ideal. 1 to 2 eggs per day is enough for most people to see benefits. This is not about excess, it's about consistency. Providing your body with a steady supply of critical nutrients allows repair processes to continue day after day. Many people notice improved mental clarity within weeks. Reading becomes easier. Focus lasts longer. Eyes feel less strained. These are not dramatic miracles. They are signs that the brain and eyes are finally being nourished properly. Another important point is satiety. Eggs stabilize blood sugar, which is essential for brain performance. Blood sugar spikes and crashes impair concentration and memory. Eggs slow digestion and provide sustained energy, keeping the brain fueled evenly throughout the day. Let me be very clear, eggs do not cure disease, but they support the systems that prevent decline. They nourish nerve tissue. They protect vision. They stabilize brain chemistry. Your body knows what to do when it has the right materials. The problem is not aging. The problem is deficiency. Eggs are simple, they're affordable, they're natural, and they are one of the most effective tools. Seniors have to support cognitive function and preserve vision. Stop fearing the yolk. That sips is where the power is. Feed the brain. Protect the eyes. And let your body do what it was designed to do. Maintain clarity and function regardless of age. Let's talk about something that most people completely underestimate, yet it may be one of the most powerful natural tools you have for protecting your brain and your vision, especially as you age. Inflammation Not the kind you feel when you twist your ankle or strain a muscle. I'm talking about chronic, low-grade inflammation that quietly damages tissues day after day. This type of inflammation affects blood vessels, nerves, and delicate structures in the brain and eyes. Over time, it interferes with circulation, slows nerve signaling, and accelerates degeneration. And most seniors don't even realize it's happening. This is where turmeric comes in. Turmeric has been used for centuries, not because it masks symptoms, but because it changes the internal environment of the body. Its active compound, curcumin, is one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatory agents in the world. But here's the key. Curcumin on its own is poorly absorbed. Without help, most of it passes right through your system. That's why black pepper matters. Black pepper contains piperine, a compound that increases curcumin absorption dramatically. When these two are combined, turmeric becomes biologically active in a way that few natural substances can match. Together, they reduce inflammation at the cellular level, not just in joints or muscles, but in the brain and eyes. One of the most important features of curcumin is its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. Very few compounds can do this. When curcumin reaches the brain, it helps calm neuroinflammation, which is a major contributor to mental fog, memory problems, and slower cognitive processing. Neuroinflammation disrupts communication between neurons. Signals become distorted, focus weakens, recall slows. This is not because brain cells are dying en masse. It's because inflammation interferes with how they talk to each other. Reduce that inflammation and clarity begins to return. Curcumin also improves blood flow. It helps blood vessels relax and function more efficiently, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach the brain and eyes. Improved circulation means better delivery of everything those tissues need to repair themselves. Now let's talk about the eyes. The eyes are constantly exposed to oxidative stress from light, screens, and environmental toxins. Over time, this creates inflammation in the retina and optic nerve. This contributes to eye strain, blurred vision, and sensitivity to light. Curcumin's antioxidant properties help neutralize this damage while reducing inflammatory signaling in ocular tissues. Many seniors notice reduced eye fatigue and improved visual comfort after using turmeric consistently. Again, this isn't stimulation, it's restoration. One of the most powerful aspects of turmeric and black pepper is what happens during sleep. Sleep is when the brain does its deepest repair work. Waste products are cleared, neural pathways are strengthened, inflammation is reduced. If the body has the tools to do so, when you consume turmeric with black pepper in the evening, you support this overnight repair process. People often report waking up with clearer thinking, better focus, and less mental heaviness. That's not coincidence. That's inflammation reduction combined with improved circulation and antioxidant support during the brain's most active healing period. Turmeric also supports mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the energy factories of cells. When they function poorly, the brain feels tired, slow, and unfocused. Curcumin helps protect mitochondria from damage, allowing brain cells to produce energy more efficiently. This translates to better mental stamina and alertness. Another overlooked benefit is curcumin's role in supporting the body's natural antioxidant systems. It doesn't just act directly, it activates internal defenses. This creates a compounding effect over time, making the brain and eyes more resilient to stress. Let's be very clear about expectations. Turmeric is not a stimulant. You won't feel jittery. You won't get a sudden burst of artificial energy. What you may notice is a subtle but meaningful improvement. Less fog, more clarity, better focus, and reduced eye strain. These changes often happen gradually, but sometimes they're noticed overnight because inflammation drops quickly. Preparation matters. Turmeric must be combined with black pepper to be effective. A small amount of healthy fat further improves absorption. A warm drink before bed, turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a little fat creates an ideal delivery system. Consistency matters more than quantity. This is not about taking large doses. It's about providing regular anti-inflammatory support so the body can rebalance itself. Let me address safety. Turmeric is generally well tolerated, but it works because it's powerful. Anyone on medication or with medical conditions should always consult their healthcare provider. Natural does not mean weak. It means effective when used correctly. The reason turmeric with black pepper works so well for seniors is simple. It targets the root problem, inflammation. It doesn't chase symptoms. It creates an environment where healing is possible. When inflammation decreases, blood flow improves. When blood flow improves, nutrients arrive. When nutrients arrive, nerves function better. When nerves function better, the mind sharpens and vision stabilizes. That sets the chain reaction. This is not about reversing time. It's about stopping unnecessary damage and allowing your body to maintain function as long as possible. Your brain and eyes are not failing you. They are responding to their environment. Change the environment and the outcome changes. That's just the power of turmeric with black pepper.